to talk about the topic that he gave to me, addiction, drug addiction. Everyone say drug addiction. So, most times when we hear the word addiction, the first thing that comes to mind is intake of hard drugs, colos, loud, as much of you know. But the real truth is this: that is even like the least part of addiction. That is what's still common around. Now, when Daddy called me, I was laughing. He didn't know I was laughing. So let me tell you why I was laughing. Before I say that, I need to understand that the people we think are having issues with addiction, they are not really those that has these issues of addiction. So the people you see, the real culprits that really have these addiction issues, they are not the ones you see in go falling on the ground, rolling on the floor, misbehaving. Those guys are they just allow themselves to be taking advantage of the substance. Because some of these guys don't even have the money to sustain addiction. Alright? Now, the people that really go through this addiction are the big boys you see that you even meet for mentoring. The people that go through this addiction, there are some of them that if they stand here and we put pastor by the side of them, we will find pastors and pastor they take something. They are so clean, they are so organized, they wear the best of designers and all that. Now, I would go to the story why I was laughing when Daddy called me. Now, I used to be addicted to alcohol. Now, coming from someone that my dad is a bishop, my mom is a reverend, and I'm an only son that went through all the pillars of the church. And I've always done church leadership at every point in time. Now, I was that addicted to the point where I don't even go to buy, because when I go to a restaurant or I go to a hotel, what I will ask for, you can't sell it to me. I like it when you mix like 6 together or 7 together. So what I do, I will book a hotel, a room, but at times I go to a point where I was only importing my drinks. I will put them in a bag, so you think I'm lodging to sleep, I'm lodging to drink. So I would walk into a hotel so I can have the privacy to drink what I want to drink. And so this is why I was laughing when you called me. An hour before you called me, one of the hotels I did go to them, they called me that they were going through their customers that won't come again. They said my number, so they're calling to check on me for this well. So I was like, is this where God brought me out from? So when he called, that's how I was laughing. So when I called, like, speaking of addiction, I was just laughing. And he was saying, why are you laughing? I'm talking, you are laughing. So now, I'm going to go through a story how I got into alcohol. Now, I started very early, and access to funds at times gives you, when you think you're strong on something, when you have money, your real self will come out. So for me, it was more of association. So I went to a trade polytechnic school. So after my went I was opportunity to do my IEC in a very good company, total power company, not the police station, the power company itself. So that is very working. I saw people that they were living my dream life, as an accountant to finish school, they had a good job, they were all driving brand new cars. And So the first meeting we went out for, they got a bottle of alcohol. And I could not bottle the boldness to say I wouldn't drink. So that was the first time I drank it. And I had a colleague, we resumed to work together. And my boss will always love him more than me. So when I get to see your friend, he's always active, he's always agile, he's always trying to talk to him. And I'm this kind of person, I don't know how to envy someone. So if you're doing something better than me, I'll walk up to him and say, guy, go with truth. Next thing I'm like, how are you just there that at every point in time, you know the right thing to say? So he told me, I said, he brings when it comes to work. When he gets to the office, he's high, so he's always active. And that was how my journey started. Until God helped me through. And I suffered because I could not talk to anyone. The bishop's son, people thought they were drinking. So first of all, the beauty of how people see me, you understand, it was difficult for me to even, open up. So while I go through this journey, I'm going to share some story on how God helped me, to overcome that. Now, drug abuse now. Being addicted to drugs has nothing to do with your level of intake. So most people think it's when you take too much of drugs, that is how you are addicted. No, it has nothing to do with that. Now, let me give you a scenario. If you have an accident, for example, and you break your legs, right? And you go to the hospital, the doctor is going to give you diamorphine. Now, diamorphine contains a high level of heroin. Now, they're going to give you so much more through that period in the hospital. And the volume that they are going to give to you is higher than what any human being can smoke in a day. But you don't come out of the hospital after 2 weeks, for example, taking that every day to become a junkie. You don't. So science has proven that the high intake of this substance has nothing to do with addiction. Because if the high intake has something to do with drug addiction, when you get to the hospital, you see a lot of people falling on the ground, putting their heads up there, and all that. It has nothing to do with it. Now, you don't get used to drugs because of the intake, all right? You get used to drugs because you see it as a companion. So every person you see is addicted to anything. It's the fine peace in that, the fine companionship in that, the fine healing in that. Most people go into these things because they are lonely. You understand? Because they are lonely, so they just put into their system. Now there was this experience that was taken. A rat was placed in an empty bottle, and the rat was quiet. He didn't move. That rat was removed from that bottle and kept in another bottle where you had a whole lot of liquid active substance. And the rat took everything of those substances. They put the rat in another bottle of water. The rat didn't take the water. The rat was put back into that bottle with substance, and the rat took everything. Now that same rat was removed and placed in a bigger space where it had a whole lot of the male rat had female rats, a whole lot of other distractions, and that substance was there. The rat played with all the distractions and left that substance. So you see that most of the people that we see as drug addicts, we see as they have high intake of drugs consummation. It's just because some of them are not loved. Some of them are lonely. Some of them just feel nobody understands me. So is this substance that Um, it's a substance that gives me the peace of mind. So when you sit with a drug addict and you tell the drug addict, you can lose your life as a result of this thing. The truth is, the young man or the young lady is not scared of losing their life. In fact, what they are scared of waking up in the morning, that they are in the know of what this life is. They don't want to be in the know of what this life is. They don't want to experience. You see, this normalcy of waking up in the morning, you take your bath, you go out. They shy away from it and all that. They don't want to have that feeling. So telling them, oh, you lose your life, you will lose this, it's just on the minor. Now, it's proven that the highest consumption of drugs right now, it's between the age of 12 to 17. That's the highest consumption right now. And those are the people that we don't even pay attention to. So I'm going to be pleading with every parent here. Get close to your children. Get close to what they do, what they think about. Be the first person they can run to when they have any new updates. You understand? You see that one which way they say me the no born, say she get updates. You understand? When she brings updates out, you should be the first person they should be able to run to say, now let me just read to tell you this is more physical. Let's read this Bible verse, 1 Corinthians 10, verse 13. Now, 1 Corinthians 10, verse 13 said, no temptation has taken over you, except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. Now, drug addiction is just a temptation. You know, it's something that has to do with what is common. And God loves you even with your drug addiction. The only place where God now is a bit scared is he doesn't know if he's still the most high or you are the most high right now. Because some of us are taking, beyond the capacity, that we can take and all that. Now, the devil will always use the power of friends, association. That was what affected me. So if you are having that challenge right now, it's not something you can ever say you want to stop immediately. It has no quick fix. Don't deceive yourself by saying, oh, today I'm going to stop this thing, I won't do it again. It doesn't work like that. It's a gradual process. Every step counts by the day. Change your associations. Now, let me tell you what helped me all through my job. So I had a friend, amazing, we all know him here, we call him Big Daddy. We all know him. So I went visiting him one day and I just told him, I said, it's my time, I need to go out to the boys to buy a drink. So he said, okay, and how much will you spend today? I told him. So he said, let me show you something. So he entered my car. I said, amazing, I need to leave. So he took me to his house and he was like, Choice, this is my house. I was like, amazing, you built this house. I said, yes. So I asked him, I said, okay, how much did you spend? He told me. Now, I'm an accountant by profession, so I have different accounts for different expenditures. So my drinking account, I have a card for it and all that. So when he told me, the following day I went to the bank, I printed my statement, and I discovered what I've spent on alcohol for that year alone could build like 3 of what he has built. And that was how my healing started. MC Fine was my junior in school when I was graduating from the university. That was when he was coming in. MC Fine, correct, right? Now, Then when I graduated from school, two months before my graduation, I was already bringing in drinks from China that I wanted to give to people to drink. So the rate at which people got drunk that day in school, till date, nobody has broken that record. And so fine, you were there. Like, you know when every department, you understand? Every department comes to drink and they could not finish the drink. To tell you how bad my situation was. And I want to plead with any person addicted to anything. First of all, it will drain your finances. There are a lot of guys here that you might be staying in a one-bedroom flat, right? But you don't smoke estates. You don't smoke duplex. You understand? You don't smoke, a whole lot of things. Now, this is why I said change your friends. You cannot change all your friends, but the ones you know have the strengths with your weakness, get close to them. The devil will always fight you with who is close to you. If you look at the story of Job, when God gave Satan the right, he said, you know what, do everything you want to do to him, but don't take his life. In one day, Satan took all his children, they all died in one day. They all died, all his cattle died in one day. All his businesses crumbled in one day. But Satan did something very key. He left his wife. Do you know why? Because he knows that is the only person he can use as a tool. But God saved Job because I think Job was a gay student. You understand? So he knew how not to listen to a woman. So when the wife said, why don't you just curse this God and die? It was a woman that made, please, women, I'm not attacking you, please. I'm only trying to It was a woman that made Adam to eat the apple that he never wanted to. So he knows, the devil understands the power of companion. So he fills you with that stuff and you see it as, this is what gives me peace. This is what gives me joy. So you see it as my guide. So in order to take yourself out of that position, you need to introduce the other guy that is far better than this guy that you have. And that is God. Because that's the only thing that can help you out in situations like this. Now, a lot of us are having addiction. Some of us is pornography. Pornography is defined as the film where everybody will watch. I don't know where they grease it, watch it. For those of us that don't know pornography. So some of us have some people. It might not be drugs. It might just be unnecessary buying. I have a mentor. He's very wealthy. He buys things anyhow that he has gotten to a point where when he buys it now, he will not give it to one of his staff to say, okay, bring this thing to my house and say you dash me. I don't know if you, because it's becoming a problem. So he buys things and takes it to someone and says, you know what, tomorrow, just bring this to my house and say, you bought it for me. So we have different, we have different issues and all that. And as I started earlier on saying, drugs is not what the issue is. It's us finding a source of joy in things that are not what it is. And most times, this intake of this substance just amplifies what you have within. And so you might think that inspiration you are getting is as a result of what you are taking, but it's not. The inspiration is already inside you. But it's because you believe in that. That is why you think, if I don't take this thing, I will not get the inspiration. The Bible says you are the salt to the earth. If you put salt in, if you're cooking meat and you put salt in meat, and you put too much of that salt, what do you say? You say this meat is salty. You don't say the salt is meaty. So you coming into the earth should feel you, not you taking in those stuffs and those stuff start taking advantage of your personality, you shouldn't. Now, I want to plead with everyone that if we can have more love shown around, I'm telling you, we will have over 50% of these issues resolved. I'll end with this. In Portugal, they were spending so many resources fighting addiction. And they made the decision, instead of fighting addiction, why don't we spend this money helping this addicted person? So what did they do in Portugal? They took money from the government, went to different skills acquisition team, paid them, just train these people for free. If they don't come to work, no problem, don't sanction them. Any day they show up, just take them as they are. And they discovered in Portugal over 50% of people struggling with addicts turned a new leaf without anybody talking to them at all. So I want to beg every one of us here, let's just love. Let love be. People are going through stuff. Most people, especially men, and I'll tell you something, women take higher quantity than men. It's just that the woman's body is designed to handle stronger things than guys. So you might not see women misbehaving on the road, but they take more than men because their body system can handle more things. So for those guys here that we do this, you understand what I'm saying. You discover that when 3 guys and a girl, they are taking substance, the 3 guys don't admire, the girl is still active, she's still going. So we need love, but once you say that love, once we can spread love around ourselves, we've helped over half of this problem. At least when you leave here today, learn to listen here to someone. Check on your friend, check on people around you, and make this world a better place. Thank you very much.